Hello everyone, my name is Koramane Koroye. I am a brand manager and communication specialist, and today I have a pretty interesting topic to talk about, and that is after work hours, does my personal life affect the school's brand? Let me start with students, and I will start by sharing a personal experience or a personal story. When I was younger and in high school, I went to a private school in Lagos State. And the school, obviously, like most secondary schools in Nigeria, insisted that students wore uniforms. Now, uniforms essentially empower students to feel as though they belong in a community. It gives them a bigger or deeper sense of responsibility because they have to take care of their uniforms, and also it promotes uniformity or that feeling of being equal, especially in a school environment or even a private school environment where you have students from different walks of life. It's important that there's something that binds all of them together, and a uniform is a fantastic way to make that happen. Now, as a student, when we would get ready to leave at the end of the day, our teachers in the last class would encourage us to still keep our uniforms tidy and neat as we journeyed from school to home, or in some cases, some of us would end up going to eat before we went home. Now, why was it important for our teachers to encourage us to keep our uniforms tidy? Well, because as a student, you are a representation of, or students are a representation or one of the representations of the school. So imagine going out and seeing a student dressed in a really well-kept, ironed, clean uniform. You might stop, you might look, you might even ask questions. What school do you go to? Because why? Something about the way they dress has caught your eye. Now imagine seeing a student running around a shopping mall with his school t-shirt untucked or dirty, kind of looking rough. You may, and because human beings, we are quite biased, when we're looking at others. One might come to the conclusion that perhaps the school does not care about the way their students look, which may not even be the case. Naturally, when students leave the school premises, they're eager to take off their uniform and express their style or express their creativity, and that's fine. You can't exactly force a child to remain in uniform when they leave. But as an educator, you might remind them of the importance of sort of keeping themselves tidy and neat even after they've left the school premises. You might even encourage their parents to talk to them and remind them of the role their uniform plays in and out of the school. Now, where educators are concerned, obviously, depending on what kind of laws exist in your, not laws, maybe rules, workplace policies that exist in your institution or in your school, some employees might include precautionary terms in an educator's contract, which is fine. But obviously, an employer cannot force an educator to behave a specific type of way when they leave the school premises. But I believe every single person who is part of an institution that provides educational services to a group of people or an individual should be mindful of their behavior outside of the workplace. You are a representation of your school. As soon as you sign the contract, you sort of, you're sort of pledging your for lack of a better term, allegiance. It's such a heavy word, but you're sort of pledging your allegiance to the school and saying that, look, in and out of these walls, I'm going to ensure that I am representing the school in the best way possible, or in the best ways possible. So for students and educators, I would encourage you to just be mindful of your behavior, of the way you speak. Remember that as an educator or as a student, you are an advocate, you are a brand ambassador, and you do represent your school outside. An ambassador's responsibility is to ensure that every single person who comes in contact with them comes in contact with their home country or their host country. So something to think about. So again, just be mindful, realize that you never know who you might bump into, you never know who is watching. Obviously, don't live your life for the opinions of others, but just be mindful that you once you sign a contract, you are sort of responsible for how you present yourself, whether you're in school or outside of school. Thank you for watching and listening.